So with some bigger bullets now coming out of our gun, there's one thing that is kind of looking a little bit weird. The bullets, when they come out of the gun, are literally just appearing there and moving on. What you'll see in reality with real guns, and in many other games as well, is when the bullet is fired from a gun, there's a flash from the end of a gun called a muzzle flash. And that just basically plants it as saying it's coming out of here and flying off into the distance. So we're going to add a little muzzle flash to our gun to reflect that within our game. So what we'll do, basically how we're going to handle this is, there's multiple ways of course you could handle it. You could have it that the first frame of animation of say of your laser here, you could have it starts out with a little muzzle flash sprite and then turns into a bullet and then it goes flying off into the distance. Or the way we're going to handle it is we're going to place a sprite as a muzzle flash here at the end of our gun, and what we're going to do is when we fire a bullet we'll turn the sprite on, and then on the next frame we'll immediately turn the sprite back off again. So it'll keep on and on, going on and off and on and off and on and off. But it's only one item. We're not creating a whole bunch of things. We're not having to create an animation system to go with each bullet. We just have one independent thing that we can work on. So the first thing we're going to want to do is line that up on our player. So what we're going to do is go into our art folder, and under effects here we've got a muzzle flash effect. So we're going to drag that into our scene just there like that. And then now that's in the scene, we're going to drag it and make sure that it is a child of, if we go into the player body and then into the arm right here. So we've got the arm with the gun. We can see here we've got the gun. So we want to make sure the muzzle flash is a child of the gun itself. So we're going to drag that in on top of gun there. So now it's a child of that. And then we're going to move it into position. Now obviously it's kind of facing the wrong way at the moment. So what we're going to do is, because we made it a child, and that the gun is upside down already, the gun already has a minus 180 rotation on it. If we go look at the arm here, basically the arm has a rotation applied to it. So our gun, our muzzle flash, it says it's minus 180, so all we have to do to make it go the right way that we actually want is just to put it to 0. So now it's back upside down right way, just the perfect way we want it to be. We're going to move it into position here. Now at the moment it's appearing behind the gun because if we go to our gun layer, that's on the player sorting layer and it's in position number 4. So we want our muzzle flash to appear in front of that. So we'll go to our muzzle flash, set the sorting layer to be player, and we'll set the number to be 5. So now it flashes in front of the gun there. Okay, so like I said, we're going to want this muzzle flash to be turning on whenever we shoot the gun and then turning back off again. So obviously by default we want it to be off because we don't want our player to be starting the game with a little flash of light coming at the end of the gun. So now that we have it in position here, we're going to need to actually make it do something in our script. So we're going to go down to our scripts folder and open our player controller script. Give that a second to load up. And what we actually need to write in the script is very straightforward, because all we need to do is have a reference to the sprite itself in the world, and then all we need to do is when we shoot we turn it on, and when we're not shooting we turn it off again. So what we'll do is first up here in our list of references, we're going to create a new public, that should be public if I could spell, public game object, and we'll just call this the muzzle flash. Nice and straightforward. And then if we go down to where we call our shoot function, just after, well, just at the end of this, it doesn't really matter too much where we put it, but we'll put it here. We'll just say muzzle flash dot set active true. Because it's a game object, we can just set it to be activated within our world. So we just say set active true. And then what we'll do, so what if we look at the order of when our shooting is taking place within our update loop here, we have it could possibly be called here when we press the button down, or if we're holding the button down and we're shooting, our shoot function can be called here. So what we want to do is basically, it'll play through that loop, or it'll play through that update, and basically on the next update we want it to deactivate the muzzle flash. So if we want that to happen, we need to make sure that it goes before this stuff in the script here. So I'm just going to put it up at the top here. So we'll just say our muzzle flash dot set active false. So the reason we want to do that is because our shoot will activate and it'll display it on the screen, and then when we go to the next frame update, at the start of the update, it'll go, okay, our muzzle flash is active, we don't want that anymore. And then we'll get down to this point, and sorry, I hit the most likely our player won't be shooting immediately in the next update. So we'll save that. We'll go back into the game, and we need to make sure that we hook up our muzzle flash into our player now. So we'll just wait for that to compile. Go to our player. We scroll down. We see we've got a slot here now for muzzle flash. So I'm just going to click and drag that into there. And now we're going to hit play. You can see we don't have it on, but now when we fire, we get this little blast of light right here, just for a split second, just long enough. If we'll just maximize this window, just long enough to look like it's actually coming out of the gun here. We're actually doing we're adding that little bit more physicality to our gun.